Tonight on Chronicle.
The overall sort of guiding principle behind the garden is a journey.
It's a breathtaking journey through 30 acres of gardens, sculpture, and hidden oases.
I love the wholeness of it, that there are a series of rooms that are connected and paths that connect them. It's a bunch of small entities all connected together to be integrated into a whole.
Why the owners of Bedrock Gardens hope to open it for everyone.
It started out by accident and turned into a project that has spanned 4 decades.
Horticulturalist and sculptor Jill Nooney wanted outdoor space to show off her artwork, so she and her husband Bob Munger began a great big garden adventure that now covers about 30 acres.
Jill is the self-proclaimed problem maker, coming up with ideas for the gardens.
And while Bob is the problem solver, making it all work.
Together, they have created a unique path we can all enjoy. Producer Cindy Jupp Jones does the honors.
I always knew I'd have a big garden. My first garden was when I was 10 years old. My mother and I dug plants out of the woods, and I would put my blanket down in front of it, was on a bank, and watch them grow. The overall sort of guiding principle behind the garden is a journey, that you're taking a journey through space. In order for the journey to work, you have to have some place to go, you have to have some way to get there, and you have to have things to see along the way to amuse you.
Well, you know that it started out as an abandoned dairy farm that had been left fallow for 60 years. It was a total wilderness. It was scrub pine, acres and acres of poison ivy, and we just kind of gradually pushed out.
Just phenomenal gardens. There's themes to everything, and some of them are subtle and some of them are really right out there for you to see.
I actually collected these conifers 20 years ago. I was really into it, and you get them in the mail from Oregon and elsewhere like this, and then you'd plunk them in your perennial gardens. Pretty soon they were edging out the perennials and they needed more sun, so we got a tree spade and we moved every single one of them here.
I love the wholeness of it, that there are a series of rooms that are connected and paths that connect them. It's a bunch of small entities all connected together to be integrated into a whole.
It goes from an enclosed garden like the parterre where you can't see out because of the hedge, to a straight and narrow where the garden opens up and with a blue tree and people go, ah! And then there's the sort of secret swaleway, dark, full of wildflowers. And then there's the spiral garden. I was collecting these roof ventilators, you know, those entrancing things. I thought, I have got a lot of these roof ventilators. I'm going to do something with this. And there was my swirl sculpture. And after that, I did the swirl on the ground. Another principle behind the garden is the notion of axes. And an axis is just a sight line. So much can be going on in a garden that happens 50 feet from you. A whole other event can be happening that you have no knowledge of. And that's part of what these axes do. You can turn around and say, ah, look.
Looking at how she selectively opened it up and let the light come in, yet it's still natural. And then the humor from the pieces. I recognize pieces from plows, automobiles, from buggies. So it's just a delight to see it put into effect in such an environment as this, where you've got all this natural beauty, and then you've got the castaways that would be thrown out that are repurposed into something that's just absolutely fantastic.
Each one does have personality. Some of the birds are just, the praying mantis out front is phenomenal. I like all the bugs. It's really unique.
I've made stuff my whole life. I've always made stuff. And I started making garden art because my garden turned middle-aged and it needs some jewelry. And the stuff that you can buy didn't appeal to me, so I thought, well, I can make stuff. This being an old farm, 1740 farm, there was old farm equipment here. under the barn and lying around, and I thought, what better synergy than sort of from the farm to the garden?
Jill is amazing in the sense that she can drive down the road and I'll be looking at things on the side of the road and she'll see the next layer beyond. She has the ability to see shapes and ideas in mundane objects that I can't do.
Well, you know what I say frequently is that every problem solver needs a problem maker, and every problem maker needs a problem solver. And you can't minimize that a problem solver needs a problem maker. And I've made a lot of problems and made him very happy because he likes to figure things out.
So she has all of these ideas all the time in her head, but she can't do straight lines. She can't do repetitive tasks for any period of time. So that's where I come in. I'm the drudge. I'm the person that lays all the stones and makes the mechanical decisions. She's the idea person. I'm the fixer, and we work incredibly well together.
He says, you dream it up, I can make it happen. It's a perfect combination.
The creativity that you start thinking, oh, I could do this, I could do that, I could do, yeah. I mean, we're looking at all kinds of ideas to do just some simple things. And then it just, oh, this is just, it's an idea factory, I think, more than anything else.
Well, I would say the garden's about 25 years old. We're still full of ideas and going strong, but we do worry when something happens to one of us, what will happen, because Bob couldn't do it without me and I couldn't do it without Bob.
We're now in our 60s and the kids aren't particularly interested in taking on an albatross. No one in their right mind would want to take this on as their own private property. And so we are looking for a way to turn it into a public garden.
This is a treasure that should not be lost, so I hope that they find a way to keep this going after they are no longer able to keep it going themselves. So that's my wish for them.